Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to TRS Live with your hosts Brian Keller, Matt Schrotz, and Zach Hoffman, presented by The Real Shot.
I'ma do this here forever. EQ. Forever. Triune. Forever. Yeah. Forever. I'ma do this here forever. All you haters better get comfy. This the day you've been waiting on. Y'all road is finna get bumpy. This the track I'm making my statement on. I ain't going nowhere. This the place that I'm making home. I'll do this shit forever. Hit the gas and I'm taking off. Ow. I was born with passion. My job is never ending and my hustle's everlasting. No matter what, I'm gon' ball, even with my back to the wall. And the best part is that this is the beginning. I'ma do this here forever. Forever.
Why do you have to go get all professional on me as soon as that video starts counting down? I'm trying to have a productive conversation here about our website, and he's like, "Oh wait, gotta slow it down here. We're going live."
We're going live. Well, speaking of that, we are live.
This whole morning did not go how I wanted.
Oh no!
Because you told me you were gonna be late. You're like, "I might be running late." I'm like, "Yes, Zach and I can just roast him for until he gets there." And then he's like, "I'm gonna be there." I'm like, "Damn."
Yep. So, good morning.
And then we end up wearing the same shirts.
I know. So, Brian and I did not call each other this morning, but hey, we look good. This really makes the whole show come together.
So now we have to wear the same shirts all the time? I don't like that idea at all.
No, we're not. We won't. We will not.
I don't like that idea.
We will not do that at all.
That reminds me of when we went to ATA and you and I packed literally the same outfits.
Well, we don't have a ton of Real Shot stuff.
Right. And we've talked about it. We're working on getting more and doing all that kind of fun stuff. And we've expanded.
But I was really looking forward to roasting you for at least 20 minutes. I just thought it'd be
fun.
fun.
Well, go ahead. I mean, just because I'm here doesn't.
It's not as much fun.
I'll tell you what. Zach will mute me for a minute. You can go ahead and
I don't think that's even possible.
Lay the bash handle to me,
and
then we'll mute you for a minute, and then we'll just go around. That's our show today, ladies and gentlemen.
Right,
we are just going to bash.
We're just going to silently roast each other. Morning, Nick.
Good morning. So,
morning, Larry.
Hey, good. What's going on? What's good? So
Nick,
it is Friday.
Nick, you're not pre-fishing? I thought you'd be out fishing today.
Maybe he is fishing and watching us at the same time.
Well, then he's not actually focused on fishing.
Well, but that's...
Because we're putting a camera in his... I heard we're putting a camera in his boat on Sunday.
Oh, snooky.
I don't know if Nick knew that or not, but that was the plan.
Now he does. Yeah, well, that kind of brings up an interesting topic is so we went and did a little bit of filming on Tuesday.
We did.
Week. And we have some things in the work.
Do we have that We Are the Champion music we can play for me?
Yeah, let's.
No?
We should have had Caleb. He's probably watching. So what we did is we were contacted by Caleb with Fishing for the Heart. We mentioned this in one of the last shows, and what we did is we put together a little head-to-head challenge. We went to Shawano Lake, where Brian really loves that lake.
I really love it. If you would have watched the stream, you would have seen how much I love that lake.
He absolutely was loving life because he caught a lot of fish, and he caught the right fish, though, right? As the tournament guys would say.
The format was interesting, right? Why don't you explain that? So Caleb and I were fishing head to head.
Yep. So it was very much like ultimate match fishing, which was very popular for a while. Same two guys, one boat.
Yep.
I was the cameraman, the official, the commentator, all that kind of stuff. But the spin that we had on it is we selected 5 different baits. And we're going to modify the rules a little bit, but what we had chosen for those rules that I had written up for this one in particular was you had to catch 1 1-pound bass
per bait.
So that's a total of at least 5 fish and at least 5 pounds.
Right.
Should be at least.
Yep.
And so we covered the spectrum. We went from top water to, we had a bladed bait. So the baits I chose were a KVD Splash from Strike King. We had a Omega Rapture chatterbait. We also did 2 different plastics. We did the Guggen Slim Shake, right?
Yep.
Is that the one?
Yep.
And then we also did a Euro Tackle Metacraw. And then the last thing we had that went kind of partnered with, right? Am I thinking?
Yep.
was the Dirty Jigs,
shaky
the
head.
shaky head.
Yep.
Was that 5?
Yep.
Is that 5 total?
Well, it's actually 6.
Oh, and we had the
'cause it's
crankbait.
shaky.
We had the Lucky Craft
Yep.
crawfish crankbait.
Which I rolled one on.
I
rolled one on that. I missed one on that.
Oh,
remember?
I need the lingo. What does that mean? You
rolled one. Well, you rolled one.
You had
I set the hook into it. Got
and
about 2 cranks and it
okay.
came off.
So the way we started that day is the guys didn't know the baits until we got there that day, and then I showed them the baits off camera, but then we went over it on camera.
Yep.
So what happened is you guys had time to rig up. I kind of jumped on the live stream and told everybody what this status was. And that day we were a little bit behind schedule, and that's why we didn't really want to go too live with it all.
Yep.
On a good recommendation because
But the plan for this head-to-head fishing is all live.
Oh, 100% live.
Mono y mono live.
Mono. And we're thinking about going to 2 different routes with it. We're going to try the one guy or 2 guys, 1 boat.
I think we do both.
And then we're going to go 2-on-2 or 1-on-1, 2 separate boats, 2 different camera people.
We'll see. What I'm thinking is we do the head-to-head match fishing style in 1 boat. That's a whole separate series, basically. And then we've got to figure out how we get guys but have a more of a league, head-to-head league kind of a thing, 1v1, and then turn that into a bracketed style tournament.
So, and that's tentatively what we want to call this thing. Head-to-head fishing, right?
Yep,
we have that stuff all worked out. We even have a theme song.
Dude, okay, here's how this has been in the making way longer than you guys understand. I went out and looked because I have Head2Head Fishing's Facebook page. I had it in 2010.
Boom.
I created the Facebook page in 2010.
So
I've been sitting around for 9 years now waiting
for Zach and I to come around.
Well, just waiting for it to all make sense. Because
Right.
I had the idea a really long time ago, but how are you going to implement it? How are you going to do it? What's it going to look like?
Right.
And I think now with the ability that we have to go live is the time to do it.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. So
Good morning, Nick.
yeah, did you see that? He's sitting on a loading dock.
Yeah. Well, no, this is Nick Brantner.
Oh, Nick Brantner's under too. Yeah, but yeah. So, anyways, this is a work in progress.
Yep.
We want to do a couple more trial runs before we really hammer out. The thing that really needs to be figured out are the rules. Like when I was making the rules, I sat with you. I sat with Justin. I don't want these rules so complicated that it doesn't make it enjoyable.
Right.
But there also got to be structure to it.
Right.
And so as I wrote up the rules, I brought the rules with us. I went over the rules.
I thought for the most part it was good. We had a few things on catching fish.
So the thing that you guys really liked, and by you I mean Brian and Caleb, was the 5 baits. The 5 randomly chosen baits is a good idea. But like one of the rules we had is you fish that bait. Once you caught a legal fish, what we were calling a 1-pound fish, that lure got pushed aside.
Right.
And the idea was to, conquer the list, get at least a 1-pounder on all 5 baits. You guys
Which is not as easy as you think.
Well, and so by fishing that day, we kind of proved that the baits can be fished at any time, that you can fish them as much as you want.
Right.
But because like that day there was a really good mayfly hatch, and the topwater bite was not extraordinary, but it was good.
No, but when the mayflies started hatching, it got good.
And when I was weird because that was a short window.
Well, and the really cool thing is when the mayflies hatched, it was like crazy.
Yep.
Right. But the topwater, that KVD topwater, what was the name of it again?
Splash.
The Splash has that. It's a popper bait, right?
Yep.
Has that like the hair on the back hook.
That
was perfect for the scenario when those mayflies were hatching. Versus if it would have been a spook or something else that wouldn't have had that hair.
Yep.
That hair on there was they were keying in on because they were starting to key in on those mayflies.
Right, and why Shawano Lake was the lake that was chosen was because
you hate me.
No.
Yes, you do.
I can't. No.
You do. You hate me.
It was that reason, and then it was because Caleb was gonna be up in Shawano.
Yep, he had to fish there anyway.
He was gonna fish. He literally was late back to the landing, but he was fishing Shawano, and then we also wanted to conquer the cell reception
For Wisco.
for Wisco coming up in August. And what we found was the main lake was phenomenal.
Yep.
But the river sucked.
Yeah, the river's not good.
And I was speaking to a gentleman who fishes Wisco, and he said that, I said, man, I really hope it's not a river bite in August. He goes, no, everybody will be main lake.
That's good.
So that was really good. So we conquered a couple different things. We got a trial run going on.
Morning, Matt.
So it was a lot of fun. We're working on, the stipulations and all that kind of stuff. But watch for that, yet this year to maybe be launched. What does it matter?
Nothing. I was just gonna set this up so you could actually see the comments
Oh,
live.
I don't. I'm just going on. I'm busy in a moment right now,
I'm
dude.
sorry. Well,
I'm you rah rah and head-to-head fishing.
I know it's awesome. I was just trying to help you out.
But yeah, so anyways, long story short, like we're not even thinking about staying species specific. Like we might do walleye, we
Right.
might freaking microfish. Zach would probably win that one. It'll beat everybody.
I think I think what I'm kind of striving for, and I've got to get this across. I think the head-to-head thing should be that challenge where you show up, each guy gets a box, you can use whatever's in that box, and here's your target species that day.
Yep.
Right? And those guys don't even know until they show up, which I like that. I think the head-to-head tournament circuit is just you go fish.
You just fish.
It's just you versus that guy. Do whatever you want to do.
Yep.
I think it would be hilarious to go at it Master Chef style, where they don't know the species, they don't know anything. So you could even just be like throw somebody totally for a loop. Maybe there's some really good, bass anglers, and then you're like, all right, today you're fishing for
here's my only
catfish.
Here's my only issue with that is that from a fisherman perspective, if it's a show and people are going to want to watch it, they've got to catch fish, right?
Right.
And I understand on the Master Chef side of life is, they've got a box, and they're all cooking, right?
Right.
So you might not know what you're cooking, but you're cooking, and
There's always action.
For the segment of that show, by the time you're done, you're going to have a dessert. It might suck, but you're going to at least have a dessert.
Yeah.
Right.
And there was the guarantee of the cooking part, right?
Yep.
Right.
Where I think the species needs to be called out ahead of time to make sure you got guys
That know
on
it.
show that know what they're doing.
Yep.
Right.
So that there's something to watch, right?
But
Like if you told me, hey Brian, go catch catfish, I'd be like, okay. I mean, I could try,
Right.
but in 4 hours I might not catch anything.
Yep.
Right.
Right now, you took Justin. You'd say, "Hey, we're gonna go catfishing on the Fox River." He's like,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Right.
He
that's
knows
part of
where
his
to-
deal. So I think that's something we got to be cognizant of. Is that the word? Cognizant?
Close.
Conscious. You'd be conscious of.
No, isn't cognizant a word?
Maybe.
Yeah,
I think
it is.
cognizant would be also
Cognizant?
a word.
That's
What
what I was
was-
going for.
What was the stumper yesterday? Synonym?
Synonym.
Frickin'
Well,
Zach.
you and I are both stupid, so.
Yeah. That's
Right? Like we had to
true.
look up synonym. I mean, it's.
That was
True story.
something.
Pro tip, not something that you eat.
I thought we were talking
Then
about.
I love it
cinnamon.
because Justin's in here working hard to get Wisco stuff set up, and Justin's like, "Isn't that what you put on toast?" We're like, "Yeah, I think it is, man. I think it is. Or you put it in your apple cider." But so that is something that we're working on because what we realized here is we like to film stuff and people like to watch it. Obviously,
and
look
live
at
is even better.
And look at YouTube. I mean, we're working hard to get more and more and more content. I know we've been preaching this for, 39 episodes? Have we broke 40 yet?
No,
next
this is
one's
39.
40.
Next one's
Man.
40.
Well, next one. So the winner of
Well,
Wisco.
we're gonna
and-
break into. We're gonna be 50s by the end of the next 2 weeks.
It's gonna be a mad.
No, because that MLF week, we're gonna be pumping out the lives.
Perfect segue right into the next
We're
one.
gonna be
But
pumping out the
before
lives.
before we get into MLF talk, let's cover that topic that Zach has. Can you bring
So
that?
I was going to bring it up, but as it was sitting here up, it tried to install a virus on my computer, so I closed it.
Well, we'll put the link in the description.
To give other people viruses?
Oh, is that really? It's just
It really did.
So does that mean it's fake news then?
I don't know.
Oh,
I really don't.
It was
Can't trust the
It was
internet.
on Facebook. It can't be fake news.
yeah,
Right.
right. Okay. So
So-
then, you're
well,
telling me
well-
I should probably close it? On mine?
Probably, yeah. It also decided to try to automatically install some shit, and I was like, I'm not doing that. Close.
I'm not having that.
It's not worth it over a bluegill
Well,
discussion.
Well, so what we're trying to talk about here is Brian sent us something through Messenger this morning
Yeah, it was this morning.
that the
Kind
Minnesota
of like a vampire. I don't sleep a lot.
yeah. So Minnesota, whoever, if it is really fake news or the DNR is behind this, but they're trying to tell people like it's common sense. Don't keep all these big fish.
Well, it's basically throwback to spawners, is what they're trying to say. It's-
Right.
Right.
And that's the same in all species.
Yep.
I mean, in my theory was, and I haven't caught a lot of big fish like some of the people that work here have, but like,
You're getting better though.
I mean,
You're catching the bug. You are.
Yeah,
I can see it happening
see,
slowly.
the point I love is I love the underdog, right? I'm an underdog type guy, like, cause like, you know, these guys all think that when I get in a boat with them, they're gonna think I'm gonna come with a push button reel, big red and yellow or red and white bobbers. So Brian was nice enough to invite me to go smallie fishing with them, and I did good for a
did
while.
good.
I lost a pace there, but I
You got
hooked it.
cocky.
I didn't. I don't think
You
I
were
got
kicking.
cocky.
You were kicking my ass
I did.
for a while.
I did. the truth to the matter is why I stopped catching fish is because I could feel you're getting salty.
Oh yeah, that's definitely
It
what
was
it was.
no,
Can we-
Zach.
can we-
Listen to this. This
Can
is
we
what
talk about the truth of why he was kicking my butt first?
50-cent lures, dude. No
Well,
fooling.
they were working.
50-cent lures.
They
We
were
have
working.
what the hell are they? Those Eagle
Yeah, the
packs.
Eagle One.
Eagle
Right
One.
at the, if you come into the store, you walk right in the door.
The black black worm with
It's
the
like a
twisted
4-inch.
tail?
Yeah, it's a
He was
4-inch.
killing it on the drop
Oh
shot.
my god! So we pull up, and I've never been. All I've heard about for years and years, and we've talked about it plenty of times in TRS Live, is man, Sturgeon Bay, Door County, the smallies, they're everywhere. It's like looking in an aquarium, and they're giant fish. I'm like, come on, please, can somebody invite me? Like raising my hand like a third grader, you know, like call on me. So Brian invited me. We went up, and there literally were smallies everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And the conditions were ideal from what you were telling me. It was, I'm sorry to get away from the bluegill thing, but it's not important anymore. But it kind of
Throwback spawners.
Throwback
There you go.
spawners, yeah.
Let the spawning fish swim.
So, and that's what we were keying in on now, spawning smallies. So we pull up into this bay, and to me, I'm like, I don't know what I envisioned for Sturgeon Bay, that kind of fishing. I just fishing out from shore, big boulders, all that kind of stuff, kind of what you see on TV and on the internet. But like, so we get up there, and I'm like, dude, are we in Canada? This doesn't look like what I'm envisioning in my head. So we pull into this big sand flat, and we're like, and Brian's like, well, you'll see them. I'm like, okay, yeah, I know how to see fish. I'm not that inexperienced at catching fish. Well, you know, there's an art to it. Like, not everybody can see them right away. So I'm like, oh, then he's like, oh, there's one or two. And luckily, though, because that we left the night before, I had just purchased a pair of solar bats because I already lost mine at the first Wisco. And we literally turned around because I forgot them in my truck. He's like, dude, you're going to want your sunglasses.
Yep. You
and
can't go up
need
there
'em.
without polarized glasses.
You need them. Well, the first one helps you find the fish, obviously. And by the way, I think sunglasses, are they still on sale in the store? That's
they're
on
on
this
sale.
plug. But anyways, so you need them for not only protection of your eyes, but, I mean, the water up there, you need sunglasses to see these fish.
Yep.
And a lot of these fish some were directly on beds, but some were just off the bed where all you saw was a black shadow.
Yep.
So we went up there, and we're cruising around, and they're small. It's just like just cruising everywhere. But we didn't find the first fish until like about a half an hour into the day, sitting on a bed, and we power poles down, or what do you got, talons, right?
No, I got power
Power
poles.
poles down. We're in the back of the boat, casting side by side. We must have threw at that fish, what do you think, 12 times a
Yeah,
piece?
probably.
And all of a sudden I dropped that little, I think, no, that was a Kitech though. Bring it right by. She eats. Zip in there. It's the biggest fish of the day. It was a 4.6, not a giant, but one of my biggest smallies. But yeah, then I went on a rally. I got up on them like 8-2. We didn't catch a pile of fish. We caught like 16, 17 fish total.
Yep. It was
But
not
the whole time in the front of the boat, like after I get up like 5, 6,
I was keeping count.
he's like, what's going on? I can't catch a fish to save my life. Freaking just throwing everything in the arsenal. I mean, he's got an arsenal too. He's throwing A-rigs. He's throwing chatterbait.
I was getting my ass kicked by a 50-cent piece of plastic.
And that was just a random pick. Like, I don't have a huge assortment of plastics and bait, but I threw the Kitech for a while. But what we really wanted to do is we saw a lot of fish cruising.
Yep.
And we could not, for the life of us.
Well, I've talked to some guys since. I think the area that we were in, those fish just moved in.
So they were just sluggish?
I think they had just moved in, and they were trying to establish their beds and kind of that pecking order. We were seeing those fish chasing like that. I think they were establishing their pecking order on that area. And I think that we just hit that. There's that little tiny window there, right?
Where
I think that's what we hit.
Well, because then we found, so the water when we first got up there was what, lower 50s?
Mm-hmm. Mid-50s.
Mid-50s. And then we did find an area
Morning, Tyson.
where there was like 3-4 boats parked up. And that water was like 60s.
Yeah, and those fish are all locked on in there.
But we pulled away from the sand bait because we weren't seeing a whole. After we caught that 4.6 on the bed, we pulled out. Then we started finding the kind of structure that I was imagining. We started finding boulders, sand conjunctioning into like 4 or 5 foot of water with meeting boulders. What do you want to
fishing? We call that a transition.
That's
zone.
what I was just gonna get into.
I know, I was trying
Deer
to-
hunting, you would call it the same thing. Where two things meet, boom, that's where they're
Yep.
gonna be. And it makes me realize that fish are not a whole lot different than deer.
I think I told you that a long time ago that if you start looking at fish and deer, and you start looking at a lake map like a topo map,
Yep.
there's a lot of similarities.
Deer are creatures of the edge. Most animals are. Most
Absolutely.
species of animals, fish, all that kind of stuff are. But anyways, so it was a lot of fun. So I appreciate the invite up there, but that bite is still going to be good for a while up
No
there,
problem.
right?
That
Off
bite's
and on.
good all summer.
Right.
If you know where to go.
Because you just chase the warmer
Yep,
water.
some of those big monsters that they get real early kind of disappear, but
Mm-hmm. And Justin went up there not shortly after not to the same area, but there's huge areas up there, and he did good. It sounded like he got like 50s, 50 fish, plenty of 5-pounders. So
morning, Tony.
but that was fun. So yeah. Anyways, long story short is
See, that's the
I know
kind
how
of
to
play.
fish. I know how to.
You do. You impressed. Not gonna lie.
I mean,
You were better than I was expecting. Not gonna lie.
Well,
for a guy
you
that
set the
only,
expectations low, and then
Well,
you come
maybe
in
that's what it
above
is.
expectations. And
right. Maybe that's how it goes.
But
But I mean,
it was
for a guy that never stops talking about bow hunting, I wasn't
Right.
expecting much. I'm like,
Well,
we're not shooting these fish.
Right. Well, and I mean, I've been pounding the lakes out by me off of shore, and I've been doing pretty darn good. I mean,
Well, because you're catching the bug.
yeah, and it
You
is.
are.
And just like anything else, you're developing your tactics, your skills, and all that kind of stuff. Like I've drop shot it before, and the lakes out by me some of them are literally littered with bass.
Oh yeah. Tony Malika's on. He said he's out fishing right now. He can't stay on long.
Oh, well,
What are you fishing for?
yeah, he's a bass guy.
Well, I know that, but I didn't know if he had a tournament coming up or.
Let's ask him a real stumper here. Tony, do you have any Omega tackle in your boat? But, yeah, I'm refining my tactics. I'm getting good with the drop shot. I've fished plenty of times. I've always been a finesse guy, but I'm working on, throwing swim jigs, all that kind of stuff. But, yeah, the bass out by me there's all over the place. So back to head-to-head fishing, that's part of our strategy, too, is to find lakes where there's plenty of fish to be caught.
Well, lots of fish. We want to catch a lot of fish, but
Yeah.
it's got to have good cell coverage.
And
That's the
kicker, and we I really like the MLF format, and so I think that's the way I'd like to
absolutely. I agree.
strategize this if they don't mind us using some of their tactics, but it just catch a lot of fish and just get the quantity of weight. So that might be the head-to-head multiple boat, and then we'll just keep the surprise lure thing maybe to the 2 guys in one boat. Every time I say that out loud, I just think of that thing that there was that
2 guys, 1 boat.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
I'm
know.
afraid to ask.
Yeah, you should be. But anyways, so right back
Tony
to
says he wants in on head-to-head.
oh, of course, I figured he would.
Well, I
definitely.
figured he'd be
Well,
all
and that's
over
the
it.
thing. Like, we may have customer battles.
I think we should.
we may have real
Well, and
battle real shot.
And we're trying to do 3-4 more of these tests
before.
before we really start promoting it. So if any of you guys watching want in, let us know, and we'll definitely get some of you guys involved.
Yeah, just remember, like, it's a work in progress right
Yep.
now, and like we found out the other day, there was we found a bad cell spot, so we were down for was it 2 hours, Zach?
Right, and that's
Yeah.
Off and on.
that's my favorite place to fish, and that's lake.
And it was a river.
I was being friendly.
I know you were. But anyways, you did win that one.
I did.
We're all over the place, but you 3 pounds.
I know it was
Took it.
terrible.
But from what
Well,
who
if
was
you
I?
went-
Who did I talk
If Caleb
to?
wouldn't decided to go back out to the damn lake, we would have
Yes.
caught a lot more fish.
Well, and see, in ultimate match fishing style, like you guys had an hour. We had 4 quarters at an
Yep.
hour a clip. Now it was your boat, so you manned the helm the whole time.
Right.
You were the driver, and Caleb was totally fine with that. But as soon as he got to a spot, Caleb was up in the trolling motor. Then you guys would switch, and Brian would take the trolling motor. But I can't remember how I was gonna go with that.
well, because I was complaining because you left.
Oh yeah,
You never leave fish, Caleb.
yeah, and
You
then,
should know that.
yeah. You know what's funny about
You
that?
don't leave fish to go
is-
find fish. You just don't
As
do
soon
it.
as he got back to his house, not in Shawano, but down where he lives, he sent me a message. He's like, dude, I've been really thinking about this. I think here's the rules, here's the format. I mean,
Yeah,
he's
he
was
was all about it. Like
he
even
was
in the
having
boat,
fun.
he was loving it.
well, and the thing that I think that's really going to help, this is guys' time, just like Wisco is, to get in front of a camera.
Oh yeah.
For everything we've watched, I've watched fishing on television. I've watched Hank Parker, Joe Booker, all
Oh,
these
that's
guys.
what you grew up with, right? I
This
mean,
is your time to get on camera, and I like to say, like I having the rules. We're not out there to make you appear to be a terrible fisherman, but we're out there just to have fun and
Right.
Right.
put your money where your mouth is. There's a lot of guys that come through and gals that come through and say, man, I could outfish any of these people. Well, here's your opportunity.
Yep.
We're going to present it with you, and we get it. There's some days like we found fish are just not biting.
Well, that happens. I mean, it's
But
Part of the game.
if we get on some of these better lakes or, bass-ridden lakes, then all kinds of fish lake, we're gonna be pretty good. So this is going to be a good thing for us. But speaking of MLF, Brian,
yes.
how you feeling about that? We got 2 weeks away before MLF comes to town. So for those who don't know, Major League Fishing is coming to Lake Winnebago.
Well, I think they're coming to Winnebago. They're coming to Neenah. I think Neenah is the central hub for the show.
Yep.
And then I believe they're fishing the Upper Lakes for a couple days. I don't think they've actually announced that yet. At least I haven't seen it.
Sure.
They're fishing the Upper Lakes for a couple days. I think they're fishing Bago, and then I think they're fishing Big Green for Championship Sunday.
Yep. So for those who don't know,
Which is where we are this weekend for Wisco.
for Green Lake. Yep. That starts the 25th. So Tuesday the 25th is the first day. Group A will be fishing, and so Group B will be going every other day, and then till Friday. Then Saturday starts, elimination day and all that kind of stuff. But we have so far tentatively 8 names. 8 names coming in. And can I say some? Should I say some of the names?
I don't care.
I have one.
Are they secret?
No, I don't. It's not a secret. I just the only thing.
That's good because I've told some people.
Yeah, well, and of course, Big Nate and like Nick and all those guys that work the sales floor, they're like, dude, who's coming in?
Do they know?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's not that big of a secret. So, all right, the biggest thing is it's not really a secret. I don't have dates locked in stone yet. So the idea is when I've been contacting pro staff reps, managers, which is crazy to me. These guys have managers. Like,
well,
one of the guys is like, well, here, email my manager. And it was awesome because they got back to me like this.
Right. Well, the thing is those guys are trying between working for their sponsors, doing events, all these types of things, and then trying to focus on actually catching fish. Somebody has to coordinate their schedules.
Yep.
Just the way it is.
Yep. So here's a quick rundown of some of the names that we have coming in. So I apologize if I don't butcher or if I butcher some of the gentlemen's names, but we have we'll start big.
I was gonna go the opposite.
You want to start small?
We should.
Well, go ahead then.
I don't know all of them.
See,
I just know the big ones.
All right, I know. So we have Brandon Coulter.
Yep.
He's coming in. He doesn't know times yet. So 26th to the 28th are the days that I want, if they're available, for these fishermen to come in, and I asked for them to schedule it more around the 4 o'clock hour.
Right.
So 4 to 6, 4 to 7, depends how many people come in. So put this on your calendar. Those 3-4 days, make sure you're around. Show these guys some love here at the real shot.
I think even if we get a scheduled time, it's subject to change, right?
It's always subject to change.
Because we're working around, they're here to win $100,000.
Well, and see,
right?
Well, and that's the thing. Like, they already changed it at Table Rock. That's fishing times, so they might change it here depending on boat traffic,
or the
weather conditions,
or who knows what.
So I'm trying to plan around the 26th through the 28th. That starts Wednesday through Friday.
Nick wants in on head-to-head, by the way.
I saw that. So 26th through the 28th.
Which is not a surprise.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, yeah, Tony's in there, so we're starting to get a list. But 26th through the 28th in the 4.
Is it the 26th through the 28th?
4 to 8 close. Well, I'm making sure people are mentally.
I heard you say like.
What do you got to say it 7 times before it goes in a long-term memory?
You accomplished that. Good
so,
job.
so here we go. So we got Brandon Coulter, who's coming in. He is confirmed, just waiting on times and day. Zach Barge, he's coming in. Oh, I can't remember his first name, but his last name is Connell, or Connell, however you would pronounce that. Zach's better with last names than I am.
Zach's better with words in general.
I know. He's just better than us. That's all it comes down to. Okay, then I have Stephen Browning. We have, so that's 4.
You're doing a really good job on the hierarchy thing.
I'm trying to work my way up. So so we said Coulter, I think, would be probably in that mix of the
I would agree.
low to high. Zach Burge, the Connell, Stephen Browning. Then we have Ish Monroe. Okay, Ish. That's 5.
Yep.
We have 3 left.
Yep.
So the three, and I'm not trying to be like fan favorites here, but
well, I know my favorite of those three, but they're all big.
So the big I'm gonna call them the big three, even though I apologize to these guys. You're all big names. I mean, all of them are big names.
The top 80 guys on the planet.
And we have 8 confirmed. If we can get 80, we'll get 80.
Oh yeah, we're not stopping at 8.
No,
at least we're not trying
I'm
to.
still in cahoots. I'm still working as hard as I can. All right,
Nick
so we
says
got.
it's Dustin Connell.
Oh, thank you,
Dustin.
Thank you. Yep, I apologize to Dustin. Okay, so we got those 5. Then we got Mark Daniels Jr., we have Jesse Wiggins, and we have Jacob Wheeler.
Yep.
Those 8 are confirmed to be in the reel shot at some point during the week of MLF. Now, I'm hoping it's the time frames of what, Brian?
The 26th to the 28th, 4 to 7.
4 to 8, 4 to close.
And we'll have those announcements out there for everybody to see
So
once we know.
The thing about it is I'm apologizing ahead of time, but I am at the mercy of these guys, and I purposely said it that way because they're working with us, and we were trying to be as patient and as open with their schedules as we possibly can.
I was jacked. We got MDJ.
Yeah, I got to give a shout out to
So,
Ted.
like
Ted from Favorite and Guggen. That dude steps up monstrous. St. Croix stepped up monstrous. All these people have stepped up monstrous, but Ted from Guggen and Favorite has just blown it out of the water. And he also, and a lot of these guys, it started with the grand reopening. Me getting in contact with them, they made some substantial donations to the grand reopening, and just keeping in their ear about this kind of stuff. That Ted from Favorite and dude, just can't think this morning. I didn't have enough energy shots. From our Steve, I think.
You got to finish that sponsorship deal you're working on with that guy with the energy drinks.
Writing a sponsorship is tough. But and then our St. Croix rep, he's really stepped up big too. So, yeah.
And then we're going to be doing lives with all those guys.
Yep. So the
one-on-ones.
The itinerary, the plan is we're going to get each of them live. We're going to keep it to half an hour segments.
Hopefully in the new studio.
In the new studio, Lance busted tail. That's all done for the most part. We just got to finish
buy some furniture
and stuff like that. So yeah, we're going to go live with them. So we may have to pull them off the floor for a half an hour tops, but we're going to go live with them, in each one in a separate show, and then they'll be here in the store. Just kind of casual, signing autographs, shaking hands, kissing babies, that kind of stuff. So right now, those are the 8. And then I'm working hard to continue. I've thrown emails out to other reps to try to get other ones. So write that down. Get it in the calendar. Come on down in the reel shot. They're going to be happy to be here because we're going to make sure that they get good love from the customers, from the reel shot, all that kind of stuff. Hopefully,
I'm jacked. The whole week is going to be awesome. I think we're going to get a lot more. We're going to just be live a lot that week. We might just burn our cell plans to the ground.
Perfect.
Good thing we got unlimited data.
Good thing we're working on some sponsorships.
Because why not, right? I mean, how many times are they going to be here? Who knows?
Oh, well, hopefully plenty more in the future. But I mean, this is
according to the MLF guys I've talked to, the fishermen want to come to the Wisconsin area more. Especially midsummer, late summer. It's not as hot as it is down south. The fish are just crazy aggressive. I mean, they want to be here.
I love it. I just got a message from Colin. Can you call me when you get to the store? Hey, Colin, why don't you watch Reel Shot Live?
Colin who?
Martin.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's he want?
He probably wants to come shopping before the store opens up.
Oh.
Colin, I'm curious to see if you have.
Tell him that he's.
See, dude, I told you he was looking for Kitech swim baits. Secrets. Oh no.
Shocker.
Yeah. Colin, I'm here. Come to the store.
That really freaks people out, catching fish in a Kitech. Who's ever done that?
Well, and that was the other thing too about it when we were fishing the smallies. I fished a Kitech, but I also fished the Euro tackle. Because we got a lot of that stuff too.
Oh yeah. And it was almost 1-to-1.
It was. And the 50 cent.
As soon as I quit setting you up on the fish, then I started catching them.
That's a freaking lie,
That's
dude.
Totally true.
That is a freaking lie. It is
totally true.
That's why, I quickly realized how the Wisco format is the better way to go.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you found out the same thing when you fished with
fishing
Caleb.
in the back of the boat sucks.
Yeah, and I've always hated the part when you're in the back of the boat and you're not running the trolling motor. My thought process is you're freaking driving too much.
Well, either you're driving too much. The guy in the front of the boat's always setting the boat up for his cast.
Yep.
On the angle, the shoreline, the bank, whatever. The guy in the back of the boat, you're just getting shafted the whole time.
And to be honest with everybody, that's how I caught most of my bass. As I was making long casts, because those fish were quite skittish yet. We would move past that fish off a bed after Brian missed it 3-4 times, didn't hook into it 3-4 times.
There's no physical proof of that. I see nothing.
And
That's
I would
because
make
you guys went fishing without cameras.
That's because where I was, there's no cameras allowed.
right. But I would make long casts off the back of the boat, and you did help set me up though. I mean, I asked you, and he dropped power
See,
poles.
here's the thing. A good guide knows how to set up his clients to catch fish. That's all I'm
It's the
saying.
BK Lounge Smallmouth Guide Service.
all
Yeah,
I'm
there it
saying.
is.
I guided for like 20 years, dude. I
didn't
it's
say
natural.
I'm not complaining.
What was the first thing I said? We get the poles down. I'm like, hey, get up here and catch that fish.
You did. He invited me. He
Get
invited
up
me
here
to
and
the
catch
front of the
fish.
boat. But out of respect, out of your boat.
And then when you got up by about 7, I'm like, okay, enough's enough.
enough's enough. We're
Game time.
ultimate batch fishing style. Like, you cannot cross the console ever. It was pretty cool. Like, when I was on the front of the boat and I hooked a couple right next to him, that was really.
Yeah,
It was like. Ugh.
There's
But
something. It's awesome, man.
You rallied. I think you tied it up, or were one
think we were
short
close.
of. Yeah,
I did rally.
you did rally.
I'm
I felt
a
bad
strong
for.
finisher.
I felt bad for some of those bass on the bed because you knew that we weren't the first guy catching those fish that day.
No.
I mean, you hook into them and their jaws are all hooked up.
I don't even really have any fun doing that anymore.
No, I enjoyed it for like 1 or 2 fish, 3-4 fish, and then all of a sudden I'm like,
Yeah. Let's go do something
That's
else.
why we wanted to really catch cruisers. So after we fished this bay for a while, then we pulled back out into some of the deeper water areas. Right. We found fish, but the wind had picked up at that point. We were getting close to time deadline, so.
Question, so back to MLF. Other than interviewing the guys, right? I don't know if we're going to be out in the water, driving around. Like we got to come up with some other ideas, or if anybody's got any ideas on what they'd like to see.
Yes.
Like almost a behind-the-scenes thing. It's like going out and filming the guy. Well, they're already doing that. We don't
Right.
need to do that, right? Like, why would you watch our coverage of watching Ike fishing when you can watch it on MLF.com, right? That's great.
Right.
So we got to come up with a different little spin to it.
Well, I think our spin is when we get interviews with these guys, we're gonna spin some.
I'm not
crazy
talking about
questions.
the interviews with the guys. I'm talking about what else are we going to come up with that week, I think is my question for us here, right? Like, what else are we going to come up with that week to, like, really, cover the deal? Look how Zach's just like, he's like.
Well, my brain hurts right now too thinking of that because we're also busy right now planning the 4th of July. That's running in cahoots.
Aren't you done with that? I thought you already had this like one big monster number, and we're gonna move.
If there
on.
was ever, is that? I mean, I'm good with that. I would
that's
love
what
to
you were
see
doing.
that because
75% off everything. I'm going shopping.
That's called the store closing sale. We're not doing that.
Yeah, that's. No,
That's
it's just picking stuff to put on sale all the time is a pain in the butt.
I got some ideas.
Okay.
We'll worry about that later.
Okay. Can you check when you're free before lunchtime? Colin, just go on TRS website.
RealShot.com, man. It's all live inventory.
Yeah. He sent me a picture
You
of
should
it.
tell him we're live, and he's.
I did. And he wants me to check afterwards.
Unreal.
Oh, he's not even on our website. He's on a competitor's website.
It's because he found it there and he wants to
he
buy
just
it from
wants
us.
that color?
Yeah.
Well, tell him you can find it here.
God.
The guys.
Guys.
Oh, jeez.
Come on.
I get so many questions like, hey, do you guys have this in stock? I'm like, I don't want to go check the website.
All I'm simply going to do
All the
right now
inventory
is
and
send
all-
them www.therealshot.com.
all the inventory on the website's live. Like, if we have it, it's on there.
Right.
All of it.
All of it. Maybe not all of it, but like 90% of it.
Right. So, yeah, he distracted me.
So anyway, that MLF stuff, you're like, well, squirrel? What?
Squirrel.
Well, what were we talking about?
Yep.
Where were we?
So we
again?
got some big names coming here, 26th through 28th. One more time. What else was in our? Oh, we got Wisco coming up.
Yeah.
Sunday. We got some awesome stuff going
So
on for that.
plan for Wisco this weekend is we're gonna have you and Megan on the water again live all day.
Yep.
And then we've got 5 fixed cameras in boats.
Yep. And again, remember to any of the Wisco guys that are tuning in, we're not picking who we get put in.
I think Kyle gave me the names of who he wants the boat cameras in, and I'm pretty sure it's just the top 6
It would make
in
sense.
Angler of the year, which
Yep.
is fine with me. I don't care.
Yeah. Yep. But remember, get the Glimpse app, get it set up. Zach was nice enough to put that little video thing together for those guys. Get that going. You should probably send
Just
it
a
to them
blog.
again.
The footage on green should be awesome.
Oh, blog.
The footage on green should be awesome because we can get everywhere. It's
Everywhere.
a real small lake. I mean, from a camera boat guy's perspective, I can drive circles around that lake 30 times in a day if I have to. So it's really not.
Hey, that's actually a good question. Did anyone send you any Glimpse invitations?
I had a couple that they were just testing,
Okay.
but I haven't. Not a lot. No.
Okay.
We should definitely send out another email today, probably just to remind
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I have that list. So
But the fixed cameras in those guys' boats, that'll be great because
That-
we'll have.
that's going to be a
obviously,
GoPro at
We'll
the
have
back
seven.
of the boat.
We'll have 7 cameras going live, which is. It's gonna be that should be pretty cool. We should be able to get a lot more fish being caught. On
and the
camera.
bite should be kind of interesting out there too, because are a lot of those fish you think are post spawn now?
Probably. I would think so by now. Yeah.
Because I didn't really. What do you think was going on in Shawano Lake when we were up there? Was that post spawn or
No, what was happening is I think I never had any time to pre-fish it, but after the fact I talked to Ty. He has a cottage on the lake, and I guess the bluegills are in spawning real heavy by the docks.
So that's what.
That's where all the fish are.
So do you think bass were done then?
Oh no! Well, the bass are done, but all the bass that we couldn't find were all in real tight to shore on those bluegills.
Well, and that's okay, because that's what Caleb said after we left.
Yep.
We were out driving around in the truck, unfortunately, and he said, "Dude, you guys got to get back in the water because there's bass all over tight to docks."
Yeah, well, that's what. There again, that's kind of the not having a lot of time to pre. You know, you can say great new lake, don't know where you're going, all these kinds of things, but Shawano's not a small little lake.
Mm-mm.
Try to figure that out in 2 hours. You got
Mhm.
2 hours to fish. It's kind of hard to
Well, and there's actually
put that together.
is there like 2 lakes that are because we went through that channel?
Yeah,
to
there's
that
like
other
Lake
one.
Washington and whatever. I'm just saying there's a lot of water there.
Yep.
So if you've only got a 4-hour section of time, and of that 4 hours, you only get to actually control the boat for 2.
Mm-hmm.
You know, trying to figure that out isn't the easiest thing to do in a 2-hour segment.
Yep. So Wisco's going to be fun. Sounds like the weather is going to improve for Sunday. I was listening to it this morning on my drive in, and it said that there is rain Saturday for
I
areas.
thought it was like a 40% chance. So
and then they said there may be a couple showers in the morning, but should be a good
Rain on green isn't a bad thing. Keep some of the weekender boat traffic off the water for longer.
Who was the guy I told you that was in here the other day? I was talking to him from Wisco. He's got the fast boat.
Oh, Greg.
Yeah,
Clark.
if that was who it was. He said there was algae bloom out there already. Is that
wow.
typical for this time of year?
Well, it just depends on. Well, it depends on the wind. Number one, if it hasn't been super windy, to
Yep.
kind of keep it moving around, and then just water temps. I mean, sun's been out, water warms up fast.
Yep. And then we've been getting still rain off and on, so that kind of dirties
I
the
mean,
water.
it'll take north of 20 probably to win.
That's what he thought too. He thought that too, and then he said the same thing for I know Sean.
Somebody always gets on them on green. There's a ton of big fish in that lake, and somebody always gets on them.
What would you do if you were fishing Sunday?
I have no idea.
You don't even have like a
No, I never. I mean, I got a general couple areas, but tactics,
Well,
all that kind of stuff. I mean,
that's a pre-fish
see,
mode.
right? Yep. We go in there and say, okay, here's where I think they're
All
gonna
right.
be, and that's where I go through.
All right, we're head-to-head fishing style. 5 baits. What are you bringing if they're not a secret?
If they're not a secret,
Yeah,
what time of year? Like right now?
right for Sunday.
Or right now?
Five baits. What do you have?
Drop shot. I need some kind of something I can drop shot, either like a KVD or anything I can drop shot.
50-cent worm.
Right? Tube jig, a tube jig, some kind of crankbait, probably either square bill, DT6, something like that.
Yep.
Swim jig. What would the 5th one be? Probably shaky head worm.
Would you top water at all?
Could in the morning, yeah. For sure. But
before-
you just said 5.
Yep.
I can throw a buzz
Those
bait
are
in
your
there.
those are your 5 go-tos.
The only reason the top water thing for me in a tournament is that window is typically small.
Real small.
It's a small window, and then it's very weather dependent, right?
So-
like
so-
if you're in that corner, in a certain corner of the lake or whatever, and the wind's blowing and it's rough,
Yep.
that bite's gone, right? So that's the only reason I wouldn't put a top water in the top 5.
But you would have it
Oh, I mean,
readily available.
oh, absolutely. I mean, if the conditions are right, it's flat calm, light rain, whatever, game on,
top
right?
water all day.
But it's just that I wouldn't bank on it. Like, I would never bank on a top water bite.
You were
in
out there a
tournament.
week ago. Were the weeds up?
Barely starting.
The pads were up though.
No.
Are there no?
There was no pads up where I was.
Because that's weird. Because we were supposedly told that there's no weeds in Shawano either, and
Yeah,
there
they're
were
everywhere.
everywhere. And there was pads up there too, and that's
I don't know.
that's 45 minutes north from here.
Green's a lot deeper though.
Oh,
Green's like 200 feet deep, dude.
I know it
In the
is,
middle.
but I mean, they all grow in the same area. They all started at about 10 feet of water,
Right.
the lily pads. So I just
Or
didn't know
less.
if they.
I don't know. Where I was fishing deeper. So because when I was
Oh.
out there 2 weeks ago, they were all pre-spawn still.
Oh, okay.
So I was out quite a bit deeper than where they were spawning. But
Zach, what are your top 5 baits?
Let's see.
1/72 ounce jig in a wax worm.
Yeah, well, I've never fished there, and I don't do. I'm just finally learning.
I've only
Bass
ice,
fishing.
I've only ice fished it.
So I don't know. I really don't. I mean, I definitely would
Morning, Doug.
try to bring some
Doug's a
form of
Wisco
topwater
guy.
bait.
Top water.
I would bring one.
You
Wanna know
caught
why?
some.
'Cause
You
it's
caught
fun.
some bass on a top water recently.
Yeah.
For anybody just tuning in right now, we're actually talking about Wisco this Sunday
Yep.
on Big Green and kind of just speculating baits and what the bite looks like and those kinds of things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was
so
he curling the
No, I
garbage
think
can?
you
yeah,
know.
they're empty. That's why you can.
I
Curl.
really think right now I've been hearing a lot about swim jigs and whatnot being a real killer. So I'd probably do some Kitech paddle tails with a Omega swim jig.
Why Kitech? Come on, guys.
'Cause
You're
I
a
have good
tackle.
luck with
tackle. We got plenty of other swim bait.
There
heads.
is. There's a lot
There's
of really
so
good
many.
ones. But
I
there
see.
is
I
some,
like Kitech. I like Kitechs because for the right price, they do really good work and they have really
there's
good
just
colors.
something about.
Well, and that's
those
what a lot
baits.
of guys say.
I don't know
say
if it's
is
that squid
oil.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. Or the
There's just something.
schmeckum.
There's just something about them, man. They're
They're killer baits,
They are.
unbelievable.
but they all.
What do they say? Often often replicated, never duplicated.
Ooh.
Isn't that a saying?
There you go.
That
I mean,
sounds good.
that's a thing in fishing, right? Like
Oh,
it
yeah.
happens a lot, right?
Yep.
Salmo Hornet comes out, somebody copies it. You know, I mean, it's a very very duplicated market.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Sometimes the duplicate works better, sometimes it doesn't.
well, it's just like generic food over name brand food.
Right.
I mean, what's
What time in the middle of the night do you want to get up?
Yeah. So yeah, we talked about Wisco. We talked about MLFs coming to town. We talked about our head-to-head.
So who are the
fishing.
names again that are coming?
Well, I'm gonna ask first before I get into that. What are the dates?
26th through 28th.
Oh man. Okay. So you gotta make me do this. I have to use my hands to make sure I get all 8. All right. So we'll reverse style this. We're gonna go Wheeler, Jacob Wheeler,
Yep.
Jesse Wiggins,
Yep.
MDJ, Mark Daniels Jr.
Who, by the way, is the reason we have walk-up music in Wisco.
Yeah, because
He
you listen to
doesn't-
his.
He doesn't know that, nor does he probably care. But when I had his song at the Classic, got stuck in my brain so bad for like 4 weeks.
Yep.
That's when I was like, we got to have walk-up music for Wisco.
Yep.
Because it actually like locks you in.
Oh,
really
it's
does.
cool, and the guys from Wisco really like it too. Okay, so Wheeler, Wiggins, Daniels Jr., Ish Monroe, Dustin Connell, Zach Burge, Stephen Browning, and then they're just off the top of my head, and Brandon Coulter. They're coming to Tis his zone.
Should be awesome.
Yeah, we're
And
pretty
I'm hoping
stoked.
we can get a few more yet.
Yeah. Yep. I was challenged with as many as I can possibly get.
I know Miles here from Shimano was on the horn
Miles
with
is working on it. I
working
have
with a couple
I
guys.
have an email out to the Rapala rep. I'm gonna make sure Justin contacts him at all. I guess he was supposed to.
Sam's kind of. I gotta get on Sam.
Did Sam step up for? Yeah, Sam sent us some stuff for the grand reopening.
No, I'm talking about for this. That's old
For in
news.
here?
No, for the MLF stuff.
Oh yeah. Well,
Sam's our Normark Rapala
yeah,
rep.
and that's
For anybody paying attention, so it's great he helped us out with the
I know.
grand reopening. But what did you do for me lately?
Well, and in his defense, even though he's probably not watching it, I sent an email to him later because I thought Justin was in contact with him. But
Justin's only thinking about muskies right now
why?
because that's what he does.
I know. He's catching them too. He's got quite a few, and Lance is catching quite a few.
Yep.
But the bass
Muskie fishing is one thing I will never understand.
the bass bug is definitely floating around the real shot right now.
Oh yeah,
It's
it's just exciting stuff, man. It's just everything about it's exciting.
well, the cool thing for me is I caught a pretty decent one the other day, and I pulled up to the landing because again I'm shore fishing right now, and there was freaking bass everywhere. But again, those lakes in Washero, Apaca County are just they're loaded with them. And that could go right back to that bluegill thing we partially mentioned this morning is some of the lakes out by me actually do not have restrictions on bass size.
Well, they're almost stunted.
Yeah,
so
because
many
there's
of
so
them.
many of them that they want you to keep some of them. And I mean, I might get criticized for this, but bass aren't a terrible eating fish if you're going to eat
They're
one.
a great filler if you want to mix them in with some walleyes.
Well, correct. And it's like the same thing like with the bluegill thing again. I mean, you ain't going to eat a 6-pounder.
Right.
You're probably going to eat a 14 to 16 incher, and the warm water, probably mushy fillets, just like a lot of fish would be this time of year, but nothing beats cold water fish. But yeah, I mean, just like catching northern pike.
Well, try it all. Let us know how it goes.
What's that, bass?
Yeah.
I've eaten bass before.
So have I. Not largemouth, smallies I've had when I was a lot younger.
Oh yeah, when we go on some of those float trips on,
I actually don't eat a lot of fish. I just don't. It's just something about, I don't know. I like catching and letting them go, and I don't.
See, that's why I like
food thing to me. Just
fish farm raised fish, like buying fish over catching it. Like obviously some parts of the year, fresh catches and everything, but also it's the same thing as letting those fish grow when you can eat something from a farm that's.
See, for me, I would rather fish for 12 hours, put the boil in the trailer, go home, retie my lines and stuff.
Not have to worry about cleaning.
There's nothing. I don't want to go home and clean 20 fish.
Well, and I've had this talk with many customers on what is the right number of how many to keep. In my personal opinion, anything more
5. It's your daily bag limit.
for bass.
No. Well, yeah, it probably is for that too.
Yeah, but I mean for panfish limits, or they're a little bit bigger.
25 or whatever.
Yeah, for me, 12 is my limit. I mean, like it's a good meal.
The only time I ever keep fish is if I know they're going on the frying pan like within 48 hours.
Yeah.
I'm not going to freeze them.
Yep.
If I'm going to put them in the fridge and cook them, that's the only time I'll ever keep fish. Ever. Because I've got a bunch of people coming over or whatever. It's the only time I ever do it.
Yep.
It's just too
When's
much
the last
work.
time you've cleaned and eaten a fish that you've caught personally?
I bet you 5 years.
Even those perch you guys were catching early this
I let
season?
every one of them go.
Were the boys okay with that
Yeah,
too?
they're just used to that because that's when you go fishing with Dad. That's what you do.
They
don't even think about it. They don't even ask me to keep them.
I can't believe Yimmy doesn't want to eat some of the fish he catches.
He probably would, but they just know I don't want to deal with it. I don't know. I just don't do it.
Give the boys a fillet knife, which are on sale at the Real Shot right now.
Well, one of them's 8. That's a bad scenario.
Well,
he's 8 and he's got a lot of energy. Bad scenario. The fillet knife, Matt. That's a terrible idea. Do not give your energetic 8-year-old a fillet knife.
Well, they have
but
to.
you got to teach them young.
Yeah, I was gonna say they gotta learn some way.
No, Jimmy probably would, but I don't know. I don't know.
Well, it's like shooting a deer, right? I mean, it's all fun to hunt until you shoot one.
Yeah.
And the work starts. And for some people, they're probably.
See, and I taught him that at an early age because Jimmy's been hunting with me forever. Because he's always had a ton of patience to just sit, and watch and whatever, right? Well, when he's little, everything. Oh, shoot that one, shoot that one. I'm like, yeah, but there's like 3 hours of work that goes with just shooting it, and that doesn't even count the, skinning and the quartering and all that kind of stuff. That's just tracking it, gutting it, dragging it. Oh my God, it's like you gotta. It's got to be the right one to do that.
That's one of the reasons I don't shoot deer on Sunday night for the most part, unless it's a big one.
Right.
Like on an evening hunt on Sunday.
Well, there's certain hunts that there's one deer I'm hunting, and if I don't see him, it's not happening.
Yep.
It's just I don't care how big it is or how hungry I am or whatever. It's just don't have the time to deal with it right now.
Right.
Unless it's worth it.
Right.
Right. Like if you're gonna get chewed out for being late, missing the family, whatever. It better be worth it.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Yep. And I'm the type of guy, like, I just watched a really good YouTube video on this. But, I mean, I will shoot a doe November 7th at, prime time. I'll shoot a doe.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I mean, it does. It could.
I don't think it does.
It could. I mean.
If that's the only doe on your farm, maybe.
Well, no, but it could be because November 7th, we're peak rut.
I know.
We're pre-rut, you know. There could be a buck somewhere behind that deer, but a lot of my timber I hunt is pretty open, so I'll shoot her. I don't care. But I also don't really shoot any deer until the temperatures are cold enough where you could at least let it hang for a day or two.
Or if the tracking side of it too, right?
Oh, yeah, you make
obviously, you don't want to make a bad shot, but it happens to everybody.
Yep.
And God forbid you can't find that deer for a day or a few hours or whatever.
I played that game before, and it's not a good feeling.
No, it's the worst ever.
You find it the next day after a 80-degree night, and next thing you know, it's
a sleepless night to begin with. Trying to figure out.
Even if it is just a doe,
brutal.
Nobody wants to hit one and not find it right away.
Agreed.
But yeah, I can't wait. But seen a lot of fawns around. I mean, we've kind of transitioned from bass to bow hunting again, but seen a lot of fawns. Food plot work has started.
Did you see that video I put on TRS Outdoors the other day? That fox.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Anybody hasn't seen that one? That's on TRS Outdoors. It's filmed out of a window of a house. And he's
Can you pull it up quick, Zach, or no?
The cool thing about it, and you'll see it in the video here, is at first, if you listen closely, they're actually rooting on the fox because they think it's hunting rabbits.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, get him, get him, get him. All of a sudden, they realize it's a fawn. They're like, stop, break. No, get that darn thing. Oh, speaking of that, while you're rolling through that, I had shared a link to Keith Beam is doing a GoFundMe page for his book, Drake's Outdoors. If anybody is feeling in the giving mood, go over there. That's on TRS Outdoors. It's on The Real Shot. That's also on his social media stuff. He's looking to raise a certain amount of money to really launch this. It's a really good book. So if you have not clicked on that GoFundMe, and go please do that and check that out for Keith. He's a good fan of The Real Shot, and I can't wait to have him on again.
I was just going to say the same thing once we get towards hunting season again. I can't wait to get him on here. He was fun.
Him and I mesh really, really well. We got high energy. He's very interesting, dude.
Are you guys like best friends now?
No, we talk once in a while.
Yeah?
Yeah. Megan that works here likes to pick on me the other day because he had a birthday not too long ago, and I sent him a message saying, hey, man, happy birthday. My smartphone reminds me that you have a birthday. And he goes, first of all, you need to throw that phone away because if there's nothing smarter than you. Megan's like, oh. Thanks, Keith. You the man.
Do you have that video ready, Zach?
I think I do.
Oh, wow.
Boom. Had a
echo effect.
I was like,
Yeah.
we're echoing. I don't
take
sound
a
that good to begin with. I don't want to hear myself
Hey,
twice.
before he plays this video, right now I have two things that we need to have up in the new studio.
What's that?
First of all, air conditioning. Second of all, ozone units we got going on up there.
Yeah?
We're all dudes. Like once in a
I
while.
don't think it smells bad in here. I showered this morning.
I
Did you?
showered
Maybe
this
it was
morning.
me. I mean, I showered this morning too, but
Yeah,
I got a fart smell
Was
here.
that before or after the well, don't do that then. Jesus.
Why is it me? I didn't fart.
It wasn't me.
Yeah,
I
right.
didn't.
I'm old, man. I don't care. I just claim that shit.
That's what I'm saying.
Same.
Skunk smells his own hole. All right, play this video.
I'm surprised he
Rabbit. He's like, rabbit. Nope. Boom, boom, instantly.
I'm surprised he didn't get it though.
I think you would have.
Well, no, he would have for sure, but I'm surprised he didn't already have it by the time, by the time that the guy realized it was a fawn and not a rabbit.
Yep.
I'm surprised he didn't already have it, and then I'm really surprised he let go. You know what I mean? Like I'm
Yeah.
surprised the fox let it go.
Yep. Now, like right here, I'm watching this and I'm like, oh no, that deer's got the drunken stupors. Like how you see it when you shoot a deer good.
Right.
His back legs are kind of, but I'm sure that.
Well, I'm sure it was just in shock.
Oh man.
Right?
Just got attacked.
Here comes this big old nanny head. That's what I said. Good. I'm glad I made it.
Oh, that's cool.
But I mean,
I saw a video like that a while ago of an eagle attacking a fawn.
Oh really?
And then some guy ran out there and scared the eagle off, and there was tons of hate comments about how that's just nature. How dare you get in the way of it and all this kind of crap. And I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure it's an eagle. It'll be fine.
Right. plus the dude that probably scared the eagle away is a junkie like everybody.
Oh,
here
right,
is,
yeah, right.
Wants to see the deer live.
But the interesting thing is the comments on this video, on the original post of it, were all positive. Oh, thanks for saving that fawn. I was like, it's just weird what little,
Right.
where your video goes and what little direction of Facebook land,
Right.
where the comments come from. You know what I
Right.
mean?
I think it's because for some reason people just hate wild dogs or like canids.
Well, you think that's what it is? But
Yeah,
eagles
they
need
gotta,
to eat?
They gotta, because you think about wolves. I mean, wolves, yes, okay, they do damage. Well, get good and make sure they can't get into your farm. Simple. Think about then an eagle comes in. They're like, well, you're stopping America from eating.
America.
That is true though. I mean,
know?
it stands for something. Well, and further down on TRS Outdoors, you don't have to find it, but I also shared one from Outdoor Life, I think it was, where they are talking, are coyotes really bad for your deer herd? And he brings up some valid points. I mean, it's like, if you have a lot of deer, I mean,
We should talk about that one. I'll have to read that article. I
Yeah,
didn't even
Mother
see that
Nature's
one.
going to handle it in certain ways. I mean, you're really in the population. It's just like the rough grouse thing. The population fluctuates with the predators and all
Right.
that kind of stuff. But
Right.
deer are no different. But kind of on the same thing. I watched one Instagram live the other day where it was a popular hunting show, and they said like they had a lady go on there and she was talking about hunting giraffes in Africa. On my bucket list, no.
Right.
But good for her. She did it. I'm sure there was a reason. And the whole thing was she was on national television and she didn't have the reasons, suitable reasons why she hunted that animal. She said it was mostly based off of science and all this kind of stuff. And the guy goes on there and he just kind of rants and said, like, no, we're hunters. It is basically science, population control and all that kind of
Right.
stuff, disease and all that kind of stuff. But if you're going to go on national television, like, at least act like you know what the heck you're talking about.
Right.
Because we're as hunters, as fishermen, and all that kind of stuff, we do have a target, no
Yep.
pun intended. But we are doing it for the right reasons. I mean, not only is it the lean meat, where your meat comes from, which is obviously the truth, but it is population control.
Yep.
To a point. But the biggest thing that he made mention of is the contributions that hunters and fishermen and people that go to parks and
Right.
all that stuff make back to the sport, back to that.
Well, it's funny that you say that because all the money, or not all, but a lot of the money that goes back into the resources that the tree huggers like to look at,
Yep.
comes from the hunters.
Hunters,
Right.
hunters and fishermen and other outdoor enthusiasts. I mean, realistically, that's why you buy a park pass. It's not because they want to make money off of you. It's because you want to go there.
You got to be able to protect
You
it.
gotta. I'm sure some of the funds go to the park and all that kind of
Right.
stuff, but
Right.
I always looked at it that way too. Like when you're making a donation to the DNR and all that kind of stuff, they're not out there to get you. I mean, we've been working closely with the DNR in different aspects, and they're not out to get us. They're out to make us, make it so we have that for a long, long time. Now, are there some things that, they could do better? In my opinion, yeah, maybe, but think about the limited budgets they have.
Well,
Think about the limited
resources, too.
resources and all that kind of stuff. Why fight it? Just be a part of it and
Right.
work with them.
Right.
And that's like there's another article that I sent you guys too about how now I didn't read it fully, so I don't want to misquote anything, but just how they're opening more public lands,
Yep, I read that.
and that's a real big push right now because
It's not like
unfortunately,
1 million acres. Or
yeah,
something
like
crazy?
1.4 million acres
That's what I
they're going to
thought.
open up and introduce in summer fish hatcheries and all that kind of stuff just by skimming through the article. But like literally, people don't realize that public lands are not always going to be public if we continue to grow in America as we are, right? Our
Right.
population's not getting smaller.
Yeah, but that's not in like.
No,
your-
not
your-
in our
your
lifestyle.
Great grandkids' lifetimes. though.
Right, but again, like the conservationists that hunters are and fishermen are, that's where a lot of funds go to is
Yep.
keeping things public.
Yep.
And making sure that those resources never go away or never get sold, so they can go away to like whatever it may be,
Right.
homesteads or stuff like
But
that.
the other thing too, you got to think about with all that, public land is taking care of it as the conservationist or as the
Yep.
hunter or fisherman, because for us as shore fishermen,
Yep.
what I find a lot is we go to these
Trash
spots,
everywhere.
where you go to these common fishing spots and you just find bags of trash laying everywhere, and then suddenly a week later it says no trespassing, and you go, oh gee, I wonder
Well,
why that is.
But that's a lot like that thing Megan put on there with the bullfishing.
Oh yeah.
That Megan put on the TRS Outdoors
Yep.
about, people are complaining because the bright lights are shining in their windows and all
The
that stuff.
generators running.
It's like, right. Now, I think some of that's just, most of the area around here, you got to be 75 feet off the water.
Yep.
So I think some of this is, there's some nitpickiness from landowners.
Yep.
right.
Right?
Which there usually is.
Because, is it really that bright? How long was it really there for? Guys, generators, are it really bothering you that much? Or is everybody just all butthurt about everything nowadays?
Well,
It's like moving next to an airport and then calling and complaining that there's airplanes flying
but back
around.
to the point I was trying to make is I'm not saying that it's all the bull fishermen, but just be courteous of other people. It's
Correct.
not. It's just not the world's. He's
correct. Yep. So
Right.
that she shared that on TRS Outdoors. There's we work hard to try to share not only cool stuff but interesting stuff, good valid point stuff to TRS Outdoors, and we want that to be a conversation page, and we want people to share more stuff, and we appreciate everybody that does it and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that bow fishing one is kind of interesting because I've bow fished tournaments and all that kind of stuff, and they're not quiet. Now, the guys work hard, though, because I even saw
but generators aren't that loud.
No, and they're getting better, but, like, one guy...
Are they doing it at, like, 2 in the morning? When is a tournament typically...
So
I know they do in the dark, but is it all wee hours in the morning?
Yep.
Or?
So when I would shoot tournaments, unless it's changed, it usually started at 8 o'clock at night and it went till 8 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And so, I mean, yeah, you are out there after,
but
let's say, bar close.
But if you're 200 yards out in the lake...
Yeah, but see, the thing about that, a lot of times them fish aren't out 10 foot of water. Plus, the shooting gets tougher the deeper the fish are.
And the thing you got to think of, too, which I will play devil's advocate, is, from my experience with up at the island, on the island, we can't really run the generators too late because we have a newer, I think it's a Honda generator, but because of the water surrounding it, it echoes so bad that you can hear it. Like when we run the generator, if you're across the lake at the resort, you can hear our generator running.
Yep.
So that's like I could see that, but at the same time, I mean, it just is what it is.
Yep.
And
so don't complain though when your shoreline is littered with carp or dead carp, not from the bull fishermen, but because again population control. They're just don't complain about that.
People just want to find things to complain
about.
And
if you think about some of these guys are really good, prolific bull fishermen. They shoot a lot of fish. They ain't hurting that population at all.
Right.
No.
They're not hurting that population at all because, I mean, carp are like pigs.
Yep.
Have spawning multiple times a year.
Yep.
And have millions of babies.
Oh, literally.
And you're never going to control the population in a way like people hope you would.
Right.
So if you don't allow like that kind of stuff, what's the next thing? Poisoning? I mean, if the carp overtake
like I said,
area?
people just want to find a reason to complain. That's all.
Yep.
I read that article, that's exactly what I went to. And I was just like, I don't live on the water, but I can't see a light on the lake really freaking you out that bad.
Well, and so what they're proposing is there may be citations thrown around for decimals and all. One of the guys actually shared a page. He goes, "Here's a decimal reader. I carry one in my boat. So if you do get pulled over, somebody wants to argue your point, here's my decimal reader."
Oh, nice. I like that. That's good.
It's probably no different than like a chainsaw running. Now, again, it's after midnight, potentially, all that kind of stuff. Like you said, be courteous of the area and all that kind and all those kind of things. Don't shine your halogen lights directly in somebody's house, but
that's the other thing too. Is like
I
want to know who's
anyways?
shining them upwards when you're in a boat.
They're all
shining
down.
literally
But
straight
remember
down.
refraction.
Well, but come on.
Right.
It's not gonna be that.
It's
bright.
like it's no different when you drive this time of year in a rainstorm and you look up and you see like headlights in the air. It's because it bounces off the road. But because of the other thing I wanted to say is with the being responsible and not only bow fishing responsibly, but like taking care of your fish as well. You had mentioned garbage, dude. Don't shoot a fish and just leave it sit.
Right.
Right.
Well, then that's terrible. I totally agree with that.
I mean, again, like there's ways to get rid of those fish, and if you don't have a way, then unfortunately you can't bow fish. That's just the way it goes. It's just no different than cleaning 65 million fish a day.
It's literally the same as if you just went out in the woods, shot a doe, but you just were going for bucks, so you shoot a doe and leave it sit in the woods.
Mm-hmm. That is illegal.
Yeah, don't do it.
And Justin with Carpzilla, they just had a real big tournament over Memorial Weekend. They shot, what do you say, like 75,000 pounds of fish? If I misquoted that, I apologize. But what he did is he went Facebook Live and showed where they got rid of their fish. They had 3 dump truck loads, not heaping loads, but 3 dump trucks, and they found a farmer that has a manure pit.
Oh, awesome.
They backed up to the manure pit, opened the gate. Those fish went tumbling in there. He said those fish will be gone in a matter of days. Now, not everybody can find a farmer with a manure pit, but
I bet you there's farmers out there who'd be glad to take it.
Yep. When we shot fish, we found farmers that would take it. They also till up really well in food plots. They also work great for gardens. And now you get it to a couple hundred fish a year. You're limited on where you're going to go with them. But then that comes to the point where maybe you should call it a day on bull fishing. So
that would be fun. Hey, we should go.
I've been working trying to get a hold of Carpzilla to get us out there. So if any of those guys are listening,
I was going to say we should go film one of those tournaments.
Well, they did ask us to go film that one on Memorial, but it was like 2 days
Right.
before.
But that would be a fun tournament to go film
Right.
live like we do with this other stuff.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
But I'm trying to work with those guys to get on in their boat just so we can film TRS live
yeah, that'd be cool.
or just an episode. And I told them we want to go live with them, so I'm working on it.
Just got to find a place that's got good cell.
Oh, that's true.
Right?
Yeah, that's
Can't
true.
be out in the
And
middle of nowhere.
Some of their better spots are like around this area, but they're back in like the Wolf River areas where
Right.
they're flats in this shallow, mucky water with a lot of vegetation where the fish are over. So we're going to wrap this one up. Again, thanks everybody for tuning in. Remember, we got some 4th of July. It's just,
How is it the 4th of July already?
it's not. I'm thinking
No,
of the
but it's close.
No, but really, what is happening with this year? Because it is
It's like
literally halfway through.
Flying.
What is going on? I had a thought last night. I'm going, is adulthood just waking up and realizing the last thing you remember was 2 weeks ago? Like, it's
Yep.
crazy. I don't
gets worse
understand
as
it.
you get older.
I don't like it.
It's
Just
kind
so you
of
know,
a
I'm
thing.
not picking my nose right now. I'm itching the side of my nose. I just looked on the screen and it looks like I'm knuckle deep. I'll save that for after the show. But Father's Day sales going on right now. We got all kinds of cool stuff.
Really cool stuff going on for Father's Day.
We have all fillet knives are percentage off. We have, or I'll just say it, 20% off fillet knives. Landing nets, 10% off. Vexen, Rattle, and Wasp,
Is that all landing nets?
all landing
Even
nets.
those really cool fancy RS nets we
Yep.
got? Wow.
Yep. So landing nets, fillet knives, Vexen, Rattle, and Wasp are $1 off. So right now with the troll bite getting better every single day, stock up on those.
Big
And
Battle and Bagel tournament this weekend.
is that? Yeah, it is this weekend. And the thing about that too is like the Vexen's real good bait. I mean, it's it's phenomenal. It's got
Well,
the
the
rattle.
nice thing with that versus the original, we'll call it Salmo, is that it's got rattles.
You got the rattles. So those are on sale. We also have the best one I think for the Father's Day is, what do you get, Dad? Well, you come in a real shot, you get Dad a gift card. Now we have it set. Get Dad a $100 gift card, and don't tell me that's too much money to spend on Dad first and foremost.
Right. You're
And
lucky.
don't
he
tell
hasn't
me
killed you
that
yet.
Dad can't spend $100 at the real shot.
Right.
And because you're gonna buy a $100 gift card for Dad, we're gonna throw an extra $25 on that card for free $99. So that's free.
money.
It's free money.
It's free real estate.
It is. and
Free money.
so Dad's getting an awesome gift card to come spend at the Real Shot. Now, unfortunately, it's only in store, but that's not unfortunate because we have a lot of cool stuff in store.
And if you haven't
Right.
seen the store lately, you probably should.
Yep. So, okay, what else? Oh, we have some awesome gun deals going on as well.
22 rifle. You get a carton of, I think, 500 rounds.
500 rounds.
For free with all rifle.
Yep.
22 rifle purchases, not pistols, but rifles.
Dude, yeah, and we got some pretty sweet looking 22s.
Oh,
in here. That TC one, that thing is wicked.
I went up
awesome.
there and I was trying to pick which one to take pictures of for our social media stuff, and I'm sitting here going like, do I have enough to buy this? My wife would kill me.
You always have enough.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we have the 22 deal, and then we have a really cool one is people don't know, they should know, but we sell high-powered air rifles here.
Like high powered. I asked Mark. I'm like, so I used to play with air rifles as a kid. Everyone did.
the Daisy.
And the daisies and the airsoft and all that stuff. And I'm like, how powerful really is one of these? He's like, oh, you could kill a muskrat just like that. I'm like, really? I'm like, that's some power behind that then.
They are. Yeah, they're really nice. And plus, if you're not even going to hunt with it, one of the deal behind the air rifles
Yep.
is free tin of pellets.
Yep. The hobby pellets with a pellet trap and
Yeah,
safety glasses.
And that's the big one there is the pellet trap.
Yep.
You're getting a pellet trap, safety glasses, and a tin of pellets with the
But see,
purchase
that's
of
so cool
any
because that means
air
with
rifle.
those two deals, if you want to go out and shoot either one of those, like you don't have to buy the ammo. You can literally pick it up and go shoot.
Go shoot. And that one is really cool too, Brian. You have to check this one out, dude. First of all, it looks BA. That stands for badass for people that don't know.
Why
But
didn't you just say badass?
because I like to say BA.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, this
it's a
thing
good
is
show.
sweet because it's a pump style,
Yep.
but it has an air
Pump
compressor.
style? Isn't that lever?
Whatever you want.
This
I'm
is
going
a
to call
The
it
lever.
This is a lever.
lever style.
The lever action pump.
Yeah. But it has inboard air pressure gauge, so you can pump it up, and it stores air inside the pellet gun. And so then it has a gauge on it telling you how much air
Yep.
is left. Or the other thing you can do is hook it directly up to an air hose
Right.
and fill it up.
Well, some of them are. So
Is that the Armada? Is that the black one?
Yeah.
Some of them you actually have to
That's
use,
what he took a picture of.
Yeah,
You have
that
to
thing
use
is sweet.
a scuba tank just to get enough pressure to fill them.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about that one too.
Well, that's
is
why this one's nice because you can hook it right up to
Just a
your
regular
compressor.
air compressor. That's
You can go to,
nice.
I don't know how they'd feel at Quick Trip, but you can hook that thing up to Quick Trip gas or
I
air
bet
hose.
you pull out an air gun at Quick Trip. That's not going to work out well for you. Just don't do that. Do not do that. Don't.
Please don't.
How many times do you have to say something before it gets stuck?
I
7?
thought it was 7.
I think I was at 5.
Okay, now Matt, write on the chalkboard. Do not pull out air rifles at Quick
I'll write
Trip.
Do
it on the
not pull
whiteboard.
out
Do
your
not.
air rifle
Oh,
to
fine.
fill
Don't
it
go
up at Quick Trip. That
Don't
is
go to Quick Trip then. Go to your local
That
friendly
is a
gas station.
terrible idea. And if you do it, just tell them Matt sent you.
Now, if you do it in a bad neighborhood, they probably won't think anything of it.
Nope. That is like, oh, cool. We got a battle going on.
Terrible idea.
See, because you got to remember, these air rifles are not. These are technically, in the eyes of the law, are considered firearms.
You're right.
Well,
They're not.
It's
They're
an assault
they're
air rifle.
They're either
Yeah, it's scary and
It's a
it's scary and
scary
black.
assault
You can't
air
use it.
rifle.
You can't do it.
they're
but no.
either the 177 caliber or some of them are 22 caliber.
Yeah.
These things are wicked awesome.
Yeah.
But that's again why I think
My
in
dad-
the eyes of
my
the
dad-
law
my-
they treat it like a firearm.
My dad has, I think it's a 177. I'm not sure. He took out a groundhog at like 150 yards with it.
Really?
One shot done.
Dude, these things
Over.
are legit.
Oh yeah, they're pretty cool, and they're silent.
when Steve and Mark put together the air rifle assortment here at the Real Shot, they didn't skimp at all.
No.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. Well, they're taking pigs out with them down south.
Yep.
That's
Oh,
just-
plus we got that Adelaide, dude. That Adelaide, we got to do a video on the Adelaide.
I want to film a video of you trying to throw that thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to go
or
over.
drop
Is
it at ATA. That's that. They got the long spear like arrow
Oh.
on
It's like
it,
the
and
spear
then
with
you
the,
throw
but
it.
it's got a lever on it, or I don't know if you'd call it a lever. It's like a handle that
Is it
like
a lever or a
releases it.
pump? Is it a lever or
It's
a
a pump
pump?
action
Well, I
Adelaide.
thought you knew.
anyways,
I thought you knew.
We should definitely do a video with
Yeah.
that. We should go hunting with it once we learn how to use it.
Oh, boy.
Can we hunt with those?
During small game season, you
Small
can.
game?
Yep.
Okay.
You'd have to look at the rules or on your own properties as a nuisance.
Yeah, that reminds me
Are
of
you
the
gonna
time I was.
are you gonna eat it then? Whatever we shoot.
Sure. I'll eat anything. No joke.
Can we get that in writing?
Yeah. Well, it's better yet. It's recorded.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess it's live. He
Let's
said
do
it.
it.
All
Jack
right.
will eat anything. Now,
So-
does that mean you'll gut it too? Then
I don't know how, but I will if somebody
I'll show ya.
shows me how. Yeah.
I'll show you.
I'm not afraid of cutting open
So-
things.
I know we got to wrap this up because we're a little longer. But the story behind that. So my oldest son, like 3 years ago, was like, "Oh, we should shoot some rabbits." I'm like, "Okay, you got to clean them then. Like, we're not
Right.
just gonna shoot a rabbit and just throw it in the ditch."
right.
So he shot a couple rabbits over at my in-laws' house because that place is littered with rabbits. And so I'm like, all right, bring it home. Let's clean it. So we're cleaning it. And his face went white. I'm like, what's the matter? I just don't feel good all of a sudden. I'm like, yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's a different story when you actually have to do it. But yeah, rabbits clean up easy. I've only cleaned 1 or 2 coons, so I've never eaten coons. So maybe Zach, let's not shoot coons. But groundhogs, supposedly guys eat groundhog and they're really, really good. Just like eating sheepheads.
Really?
Well, that's the funny thing though, is all these animals that we're like not used to eating regularly are
Yeah.
animals that everybody had eaten regularly up
Yep.
until the point that we were like
Well,
established.
and that's where that Steven Ranella or whatever, that dude, that meat eater dude, he's got
Just eat
cookbooks on
everything.
all of that
I was
stuff.
gonna say, I think even porcupine's like a
Porcupine, actually, I've heard
really
is very good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So yeah, a lot of awesome Father's Day sales going on, and remember that one ends this Sunday when we're filming Wisco. So as soon
Right.
as the store closes, that one ends in store. It'll still be online,
Right.
and then it'll end it'll end Sunday evening online. So if you haven't got in, so the gift card one is a huge one. There's like Guggen baits are on sale.
Yep.
13 rods are like closeout pricing on 13 rods, dude.
Yep.
We are moving 13 stuff, so get your butt in here if you haven't bought them yet. We appreciate everybody's come in and bought all that stuff already. Food plot seeds, so on and so forth. So there's a lot of Father's Day stuff. Check out the website. Check out social media for that. But we are going to call this one a Friday. We are going to get focused on Wisco, narrowing down more MLF stuff, and just having the rest of our TGIF. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in. I'll say be safe. You guys want to end it with anything?
I have nothing.
I think that's it. That's
Drive
the end.
fast, take chances, and remember, you can always beat the train.
And don't load your air rifle at Quick Trip.
That's 2 solid points of advice to end the show. You can always outrun a train.
Right.
and fill your air rifle over at your local gas station.
Jesus. There goes the Quick Trip sponsorship. We're out.
And it's out. All right.
See you guys.